Good afternoon, one and all. In last lecture, we have seen the basic part about the free vibration, force vibration, again mass spring damper system. Now we'll see the remaining part from this unit number second. Up to the forced vibration we have finished in the last lecture. Now we'll move towards the next point. So now we'll move towards the undamped vibration system. So what is the undamped vibration system? So if no energy is lost or dissipated in the friction or other resistance during oscillation, the vibration is known as undamped vibration. ओके. तर अनडॅम्प्ड व्हायब्रेशन म्हणजे काय, तर त्या ठिकाणी डॅम्पर आहे तो यूज केलेला नसणार आहे. आणि बिकॉज ऑफ दिस डॅम्पर मध्ये जी काही एनर्जी डिसिपेट होणार आहे, वॉट एव्हर द एनर्जी इज डिसिपेटेड, ती एनर्जी काय होणार आहे, डॅम्पर्स, इफ डॅम्पर्स इज देअर इन द स्ट्रक्चर देन एनर्जी इज डिसिपेटेड. इफ डॅम्पर इज नॉट देअर देन एनर्जी विल नॉट बी डिसिपेट. मग त्या ठिकाणी काय होणार आहे, तर त्यावेळेला काय होणार आहे, त्या ठिकाणी जे आपलं स्ट्रक्चर आहे, तर ते स्ट्रक्चर किंवा जे काही सिस्टीम असेल, that system will be act as an undamped system. Okay, when damper is provided into the system is known as a damped system, and if the damper is not provided, then system is known as an undamped system. आता या सिस्टीम मध्ये बघा, अनडॅम्प्ड व्हायब्रेशन्स म्हणजे काय, देयर इज अ, इफ द बिकॉज डॅम्पर इज नॉट प्रोव्हाइडेड and the system is getting vibrated, the such vibrations are known as undamped vibrations. आणि त्यावेळेला ते व्हायब्रेशन जे प्रोड्यूस होणार आहेत, तर त्या ठिकाणी कोणत्याही प्रकारची एनर्जी त्या ठिकाणी डिसिपेट होणार नाही. ओके, and that is nothing but a undamped vibrations. Okay, in many physical systems the amount of damping is so small that can be ignored. Okay, so that is the undamped vibration. Undamped vibration means without any damper, which is because of the without any damper, if the vibrations are produced into the system, then the system which will not be dissipate any energy, and the such a system is known as a undamped vibration system. Okay, so I request all of you, please write down these definitions. Write down undamped vibrations, undamped vibration, undamped vibration. Write down, if no energy is lost, if no energy is lost or dissipated, if no energy is lost or dissipated in friction, in friction, in friction, in friction or other resistance, or other resistance during oscillations, other resistance during oscillations, the vibration is known as, the vibration is known as, the vibration is known as undamped vibrations, undamped vibrations. In many physical systems, in many physical systems, the amount of damping is so small, is so small that it can be ignored. Okay, so now we'll move towards the next point, which is very important about the free vibration, about the chapter number 2, that is the what is the periodic motion, what is the frequency, what is the time period, what is the amplitude, and what is the free vibration. So that definitions, which are very basic definitions about this unit number second. So what is the periodic motion? The motion which repeats after a regular interval of time is called as a periodic motion. Okay, that the motion which repeats after a regular interval of time. The motion which repeats after a regular interval of time is called as a periodic motion. Okay, the motion which repeats after a regular interval of time is called as a periodic motion. Periodic motion is nothing but the motion which repeats after a regular interval of time is called as a periodic motion. Second one is the frequency. So what is the frequency? So frequency is nothing but the number of cycles completed within a unit time is called as a frequency, and its units is a cycle per second or hertz, or it is known as a CPS, cycles per second. Okay? There is a frequency. What is the frequency? The number of cycles completed in a unit time is called as a frequency. Number of cycles completed in a unit time is called as a frequency, and this unit time, its unit is a hertz. Okay, henceforth you remember this. What is the unit of frequency? That is the hertz. Next one is the time period. The time taken to complete one cycle is called as a periodic time. बघा टाइम पिरियड म्हणजे काय? The time taken to complete one cycle is called as a periodic time. टाइम पिरियड म्हणजे काय? तर एका टाइम रिक्वायर्ड एक सायकल कंप्लीट करण्यासाठी जो काही टाइम लागतो दॅट टाइम इज नथिंग बट अ टाइम पिरियड. आणि हे कसं रिप्रेझेंट केलं जातं? इट विल बी रिप्रेझेंट इन सायकल सेकंड्स पर सायकल. ओके, वन कंप्लीट सायकल होण्यासाठी जितकं काही टाइम पिरियड लागतो दॅट टाइम पिरियड इज नथिंग बट that time is nothing but a time period which is required to complete one cycle is known as a periodic time. Okay, amplitude. What is the amplitude? So amplitude is nothing but the maximum displacement of vibrating system or body from the mean equilibrium position is called as amplitude. काय amplitude हे काय डिस्प्लेसमेंट आहे, तिचं मॅक्झिमम डिस्प्लेसमेंट. मॅक्झिमम डिस्प्लेसमेंट कधी होणार आहे बॉडीमध्ये? सो दॅट मॅक्झिमम डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज नोन ॲज अन amplitude. Okay, and free vibration, already all of you know what is the free vibration. Without applying any external force to the system is getting vibrated is nothing but a free vibration system. Okay, so I request all of you, please write down these basic features of vibratory system. Write down first periodic motion. Periodic motion. Write down periodic motion. The motion which repeats the motion which repeats after a regular interval of time, which repeats after a regular interval of time is called a periodic motion. Is called a periodic motion. Below this, write down frequency. Frequency. Write down number of cycles completed in a unit time. Number of cycles completed in a unit time. Number of cycles completed in a unit time is called a frequency. Number of cycles completed in a unit time is called a frequency. Stop. Its unit is cycles per second. Its unit is cycles per second. Its unit is cycle per second or hertz. Or hertz. Below this, write down time period. Time period time taken to complete one cycle, time taken to complete one cycle is called time taken to complete one cycle is called periodic time. Periodic time. Periodic time, and it is represented in seconds per cycle. It is represented in seconds per cycle. Next one is the amplitude. Amplitude. The maximum displacement maximum displacement of a vibrating system or body from the mean equilibrium position or body from the mean equilibrium position is called amplitude. Is called amplitude. And last one is the pre-vibration. Pre-vibration. When a system is disturbed, it starts vibrating. And keeps on vibrating. Thereafter, without the action of external force. Full stop. Such vibrations are free vibrations. Okay. Now we'll see the some of the another definitions. Natural frequency. We have seen what is the frequency. So frequency म्हणजे काय? To complete one cycle, the time required to complete one cycle, that is nothing but a time period. Frequency म्हणजे काय? Number of cycles completed in 1 second. Complete in a unit time, that is nothing but a frequency. Frequency means number of cycles completed per second, that is nothing but a frequency, and which will be denoted by hertz. Now we'll see the natural frequency. When a system executes the free vibrations which are undamped, the frequency of such a system is called as a natural frequency. Natural frequency म्हणजे काय? Without applying any force. त्या ठिकाणी कुठल्याही प्रकारचा काय असणार आहे? फोर्स पण नसणार आहे, आणि that system is an undamped system. So at that time, when system is executes the free vibrations which are undamped. Undamped पण आहेत, आणि त्या ठिकाणी कसं आहे vibration? It is a free vibration. Then the frequency of such a system is called as a natural frequency. Natural frequency is nothing but there is an undamped system. That is the first point. And second one is it is a free vibration system. Then that system is executes the natural frequency. Okay, I hope all of you understand. Natural frequency is nothing but the system when the system executes free vibrations. Okay, system executes free vibrations which are undamped पण असेल आणि free vibrations असतील. And third point is such a system is executes the natural frequency. Next one is the forced vibration. There will be some of the external force which is applied to the system, and the frequency of forced vibration is equal to the forcing frequency. त्या ठिकाणी काय असणार आहे? Forced vibrations त्या ठिकाणची frequency कशी असणार आहे? It is a forced frequency because there is a damping system is available and there is a force is also available. So such a system executes the forcing frequency. आता natural frequency कशी होती आपली? That natural frequency is nothing but where the undamped system is there, and second thing is that the whatever the force is over there, that is also free, that is zero, that is the free vibration. Means whenever the free vibrations and whenever the damping is not there, then that system executes the natural frequency. And what is the forced vibration? The external force that you can apply केलेला असेल, and addition with that there is a damper is provided, then that system which will be executes the forcing frequency. Resonance. आता resonance कधी create होतो बघा? When the frequency of exciting force is equal to the natural frequency of the system is called as a resonance. Resonance म्हणजे काय होतं? त्या ठिकाणी आवाज होतो, ध्वनी तयार होतो. When it will be occur at whenever the exciting frequency is equal to the natural frequency. Okay, exciting frequency आणि natural frequency. Natural frequency म्हणजे काय? Undamped system असेल आणि दुसरं म्हणजे फ्री व्हायब्रेशन सिस्टीम असेल तर त्यावेळेला आपली क्रिएट होणारी फ्रिक्वेन्सी कुठली असेल? दॅट इज द नॅचरल फ्रिक्वेन्सी. आणि व्हॉट इज द एक्साइटिंग फोर्स? ओके, द फ्रिक्वेन्सी ऑफ एक्साइटिंग फोर्स म्हणजे आपण जे काही एक्सटर्नल फोर्स त्या ठिकाणी अप्लाय करणार आहोत, तर बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एक्सटर्नल फोर्स वॉट एव्हर द फ्रिक्वेन्सी इज प्रोड्युसेस, that frequency is equal to the natural frequency in the system, then and then the resonance will be produced. And under such a condition, amplitude of vibrations build up dangerously. Okay, त्या ठिकाणी काय होतं? ध्वनी तयार होतो when at the resonance condition. At the resonance condition. And last one is the degrees of freedom, that already we know what is the degrees of freedom. Okay, so I request all of you, please write down this basic concept. What is the natural frequency? These all terminologies will come in whole earthquake engineering, so that you have to understand what is the natural frequency, what is the forcing frequency, what is the forced vibration, and what is the resonance. So write down please. Natural frequency, natural frequency, natural frequency. When a system executes, when system executes, when a system executes free vibrations, free vibrations which are undamped, which are undamped, comma, the frequency of such a system is called, the frequency of such a system is called natural frequency. When a system executes free vibrations which is undamped, the frequency of such a system is called as a natural frequency. Full stop. Below this, write down forced vibration. Forced vibration. Forced vibration. Write down the vibration of system. The vibration of the system. The vibration of the system under the influence of an external force. Under the influence of an external force are called forced vibration. The vibration of the system under the influence of an external force, under the influence of an external force are called forced vibrations. Forced vibrations, and the frequency of forced vibration is equal to the forcing frequency. The frequency of forced vibration, the frequency of forced vibration is equal to the forcing frequency. Full stop. Below this, write down resonance. Resonance. When frequency of exciting force, when frequency of exciting force, when frequency of exciting force is equal to the natural frequency of the system, natural frequency of the system, natural frequency of the system, it is called a resonance. It is called a resonance. Full stop. Under such conditions, under such conditions, amplitude of vibrations builds up dangerously. Amplitude of vibrations builds up dangerously. Okay. So degrees of freedom already we know. So now we'll move towards the next point. Okay. So that is the mass spring damper system that already we have seen in the last lecture. Okay, so what is the damper? What is the mass spring damper system? What are the forces which are produced into this system? And what is the F is internal is equal to F external. So internal forces are damping force, that is the Cx dot, restoring force, that is the Kx, and third one is the inertia force, that is the Mx double dot. So in this way, there are the three forces, that is the inertia force, damping force, and the third one is the restoring force will be produces into the system, internally produces into the system, and the external force is the P of T. So total equation will become, the fourth equation will become like this: Mx double dot plus Cx dot plus Kx equal to F of. Okay. So I request all of you will solve the first equation, that is the undamped free vibration system. So please draw this diagram very neatly in your notebook. So we'll move towards the derivation number 1. Okay. So write down undamped free vibration system. Undamped free vibration system. So you should know now, already we have discussed very nicely. We have gone through this all the whatever the basic understanding about this chapter. Okay, so you should know what is undamping. So which parameter will be become 0, or what is the free vibration, and which parameter will be become 0 for this free vibration also. Okay, first one is the undamped free vibration system. Undamped म्हणजे काय, तर त्या ठिकाणी जो डॅम्पिंग कोएफिशियंट C आहे तो काय आहे, तो 0 आहे. Means the total terminology Cx dot, म्हणजे C is the damping coefficient into velocity. So Cx dot, that total terminology will be equal to 0. And that's why this undamped name will be come here. Undamped म्हणजे काय, या ठिकाणचा जो C पॅरामीटर जो आहे, म्हणजे या सिस्टीम मध्ये डॅम्पर वापरलेला नाही. And so that undamping coefficient will be come here. That is the undamping coefficient. C will not be come here. That C is equal to 0. Means Cx dot, that total terminology will become 0 from the total equation. तर त्यामुळे या इक्वेशन मध्ये या जी मास स्प्रिंग डॅम्पर सिस्टीम आहे, तर या सिस्टीम मध्ये जो तो पॅरामीटर आहे रिलेटेड टू द डॅम्पिंग, that is not come here because it is an undamped system. Because it is an undamped system. Second one is it is a free vibration system. So free vibration म्हणजे त्या ठिकाणी f of t व्हॅल्यू, म्हणजे काय फोर्स ची व्हॅल्यू आहे, f of t व्हॅल्यू, that will be become 0. Okay, and so that parameter, that is the you can see here, that is the whole friction, that support is shown here. Again wheels are there, mass is there, again k is the spring stiffness k, again there is the x is the displacement. But in this system, that because of undamping, C parameter will not become, it will be equal to 0. And because of this forced vibration, because of this free vibration, that f of t value will be equal to 0. So in this way, we have to solve this derivation. That is the basic concept. You should understand, if the name come here, undamped free vibration system, you should understand in your mind Undamped, C is equal to 0. For free vibration, F of T will be equal to 0. Okay. So I request all of you, please draw this diagram neatly in your notebook within 2 minutes. I will give you the 2 minutes. Please fast. Okay. I hope all of you have completed this diagram. Undamped free vibration system. So you understand this diagram. There is a K parameter is shown here. That K is the spring constant K. Okay. Again, M is the mass of the system. That mass. X is the displacement. So there are the two parameters, two forces will be produced in the system because of this M and because of this K. So because of M, there is an inertia force will be produced into the system. Inertia force is mx double dot. M is nothing but a mass. X double dot is the acceleration. So mass into acceleration, that is the force. That is the inertia force produced into the system. And second one is the K into X. So K is the stiffness spring constant K and X is the displacement. So K into X is the restoring force which is produced into the system, and mx double dot, that is the inertia force. Mx double dot is the inertia force, and kx is nothing but a that is the k into x is the restoring force. So these two forces will be produced here in this system, and there is a free vibration. So f of t value is become 0 over here. So consider the undamped single degrees of freedom system, which is shown in the figure. So we have seen already the whatever the parameters will become in this undamped single degrees of freedom system. The mass supported on the frictionless rollers and can have only the translator motion in the horizontal direction. So you can see the wheelchairs. So on that wheelchairs, if load is applied, if the mass is there, then they can move. They can move in horizontal direction only. Okay, in the motion of horizontal direction only. Okay, the unstretched length of the spring, unstretched length of the spring. Then let the mass be displaced in the x direction from its rest position. बघा याच्यावरती load जर apply केला on the wheelchair, if load is applied, then automatically it will move in the downward direction. The results in a spring force, that is the K into X, means because of this load, there is the spring stiffness into whatever the displacement is occur in that spring, that is the K into X. So that is the restoring force which is produces. And by using the Newton's law, the mass into acceleration is equal to forces on the system. So mass into acceleration is equal to forces into the system. So all of you please write down. All of you write down. Consider the undamped SDOF system. Consider the undamped SDOF system as shown in figure. Consider the undamped SDOF system as shown in figure. As shown in figure. The mass supported on frictionless rollers. The mass supported on frictionless rollers. The mass supported on frictionless rollers and can have only translator motion in horizontal direction. Can have only translator motion in horizontal direction. Can have only translator motion in horizontal direction. Full stop. The unstretched length of the spring. The unstretched length of the spring. Let the mass be displaced a distance. Let the mass be displaced a distance plus x from its rest position. Plus x from its rest position. The results in a spring force. The results in a spring force K into X. Results in a spring force K into X. Using Newton's second law. Newton's second law. Mass into acceleration is equal to force on the mass. Below this, write down mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. Mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. Okay, see the diagram first. in that diagram there is a m coefficient is there, k is coefficient is there. So mx double dot is the first inertia force to be produced here, and kx is the restoring force which is produced into the system. So mx double dot is the inertia force, kx is the restoring force. Okay, if we split this system, then there is a that C part will be here. Okay, so in this C part you can see if that spring, that coefficient is cut over here, then there is a kx which is the spring coefficient, that is the spring restoring force in the spring that will be produces, and mx double dot is the mass into the acceleration. So these both are in the opposite direction when we split this diagram. Okay, kx will be in this direction and mx will be in this direction, so that they are opposite in the direction, and so that whenever these are in the opposite direction, mx double dot plus kx, it will become equal to 0, because mx double dot is in the left side, in the RHS side, that will be minus k into x. So equation will become mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. Okay, now we have to solve this equation. Okay, we should know what is the x, what is the x dot, what is the x double dot. So x is nothing but a displacement, x dot is nothing but a, it is a velocity, and x double dot is nothing but a, its acceleration. So where x double dot, so what is the x double dot? That is the d2x by dt square. The double derivative of x is nothing but a x double dot. For only first derivative of x is nothing but a dx by dt. If two derivatives are there, then that will become an acceleration. Only one derivative is there, that is the velocity. If we take the double derivative, that will become an acceleration. Okay, x double dot is equal to d2x by dt square is the acceleration of the mass. Is the acceleration of the mass. The solution of equilibrium equation for undamped free SDOF system is given by this below equation. So how to solve this equation? Mx double dot plus Cx dot equal to 0. So we can solve this equation by putting x of t is equal to c into a raised to st. Okay, so I hope all of you have clear this. Write down where x double dot is equal to, where x double dot is equal to d2x by dt square d2x by dt square is the acceleration of mass, is the acceleration of mass. Is the acceleration of the mass. Full stop. The solution of equilibrium equation, the solution of equilibrium equation for undamped, for undamped free SDOF system, free SDOF system given in equation second, given in equation second, given in equation second, and can be obtained as can be obtained as below this write down x of t is equal to x of t is equal to c into e raised to st. C into e raised to st. By putting this x is equal to c into e raised to st. Okay, first we'll take the first derivative and we'll take the second derivative and we'll put these two values into the equation number 1. Okay, so below this, take the first derivative for calculating this x dot of the x of t. So we'll take the first derivative, x dot of t is equal to dx by dt is equal to dx by dt is equal to c into s. What is the derivative of c into e raised to st? The derivative as the c into e raised to st is s is the variable. So that will become here. C is the constant. C into s into e raised to st. E raised to x the derivative e raised to x. So if e raised to st is there, then s will become as a variable. So what is the derivative? C s into e raised to st. Now we'll take the second derivative. So how we can take the second derivative? C into s square. So s square is s square into e raised to st. So c into s square into e raised to st. So that is the equation number 4. So now we have to put these two values into the equation number 1. Okay, so put these two values into the equation number 1.
Madam, e raised to st is a derivative e raised to st into s.
हा, yes is
S कुठं आहे त्यातलं?
इथं बघा यस जे आहे ना, सो यस इज द व्हेरिएबल. हा यस काय आपला व्हेरिएबल आहे. सो एक्स ऑफ टी चं डेरिव्हेटिव्ह जर पहिलं घेतलं तर हे काय येणार, सी इज द कॉन्स्टंट, इट विल बी सेम. ई रेस टू एस टी चा हा व्हेरिएबल खाली आला, दॅट इज द एस इंटू सेम ई रेस टू एस टी इज द सेम राहील त्या ठिकाणी. ह्याच परत जर डबल डेरिव्हेटिव्ह जर घेतला तुम्ही तर सी इज द कॉन्स्टंट. हा इथला एस जो आहे ई रेस टू एस टी चा एस आहे तर त्याचं डेरिव्हेटिव्ह येणार ना परत, दॅट इज द एस आणि एस इंटू एस या विल बिकम एस स्क्वेअर इंटू ई रेस टू एस टी. इज इट ओके? समजलं का?
मॅडम x of t is equal to c raised to c into e raised to st कुठं आलंय ते?
ओके, फॉर सॉल्विंग दिस इक्वेशन आपल्याला काय करायचं आता, हे जे इक्वेशन कुठलं आपलं इक्वेशन आहे इक्वेशन नंबर 2, दॅट इज द mx डबल डॉट प्लस kx इक्वल टू 0. हे जे एक इक्वेशन आहे हे तुमचं कुठलं इक्वेशन आहे, एक डिफरन्शियल इक्वेशन आहे. तर आपलं तिथून बघता ना ह्याच्यामध्ये d2x बाय dt स्क्वेअर प्लस dy बाय dx इज इक्वल टू 0 या टर्मिनॉलॉजी मधलं हे एक इक्वेशन आहे. हे इक्वेशन जर आपल्याला सॉल्व्ह करायचं असेल तर वी हॅव टू टेक सम कॉन्स्टंट ओव्हर हियर, किंवा एक व्हेरिएबल या ठिकाणी आपल्याला घ्यायचं आहे विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू इट्स कॉन्स्टंट. मग एक्स ऑफ टी आपण या ठिकाणी घेतलेला आहे. मग ह्या इक्वेशनचं आपल्याला सोल्युशन कधी मिळेल, वेन वी विल गेट द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ सी. जेव्हा तुम्हाला सी ची व्हॅल्यू मिळेल, जेव्हा तुम्हाला एस ची व्हॅल्यू मिळेल, तर त्यावेळेला आपल्याला ह्याचं काय मिळेल तर सोल्युशन ऑफ इक्वेशन हे माहिती होईल. इज इट ओके?
ओके मॅडम.
एलडी ऐकलं असेल तुम्ही तुमच्या सेकंड इयर मध्ये, लिनियर डिफरन्शियल इक्वेशन किंवा पार्शियल डिफरन्शियल इक्वेशन. ओके, मे बी तुम्ही डायरेक्ट
फोर्थ सेमेस्टरला होतं ते आम्हाला लॉकडाऊन पडलं.
हा, मे बी ते तुम्ही डायरेक्ट सेकंड इयरला किंवा तुमचं मे बी डिप्लोमा थ्रू असल्यामुळे पण काही काही जणांना हे थोडंसं अवघड वाटेल. ठीक आहे, एक्स ऑफ टी वी हॅव टू ऍज्युम इट ॲज सी इंटू ई रेस टू एस टी. सी हा कॉन्स्टंट आहे या ठिकाणचं, यस हा काय व्हेरिएबल आहे. मग आता आपण हा एक ऍज्युम केलेला फॅक्टर आहे. हा ऍज्युम केलेल्या फॅक्टर मधले जे काही दोन पॅरामीटर आहेत, एक तर यस आणि दुसरा आणि सी, हे दोन पॅरामीटर जेव्हा आपल्याला मिळतील तर तेव्हा आपल्याला हे जे इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन जे काही सोल्युशन आहे ते आपल्याला माहिती होईल. ओके, तर ह्याचं डेरिव्हेटिव्ह, पहिलं डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काय आलं बघा, एक्स डॉट ऑफ टी दॅट इज द डीएक्स बाय डी टी. त्यालाच आपण डॉट, एक डॉट आला की त्याला डीएक्स बाय डी टी म्हणायचं, दोन डॉट आले की त्याला डबल डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काढलं म्हणायचं. म्हणजे काय, एक्स डॉट इज द ओनली वन डेरिव्हेटिव्ह ऑफ एक्स. एक्स डबल डॉट म्हणजे काय, डेरिव्हेटिव्ह ऑफ, डबल डेरिव्हेटिव्ह ऑफ एक्स विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू टी. ओके, so first derivative that is the c is the constant, that s is the variable, so it will become and into e raised to st. And second मध्ये याच डबल डेरिव्हेटिव्ह कसं काढणार, d2x by dt square. Okay, that is the C into S into S into e raised to st, and that's why that total terminology will become here, that is the CS square into e raised to st. That is the equation number 4. आता बघा equation number 2 मध्ये there are the two values. One is the mx x double dot and second one is the x only. So x double dot मला आता माहिती झालेलं आहे and x पण already I know. So by putting these two values, आता ह्या दोन्ही values आपल्याला काय करायचे, इक्वेशन नंबर 1 मध्ये पुटअप करायचे. आता ह्या इक्वेशन नंबर 4 मध्ये पुटअप करा. चला तुम्ही पुटअप करून मला काय यामधून सोल्युशन मिळतं ते सांगा. So by putting these two values in the equation number 1, I will get that C is the common term will become here, okay, from these two equations, and the remaining term in the bracket is ms square plus k equal to 0. Okay, so I request all of you, please put these two values in the equation and give me the answer. Put करा चला इक्वेशन नंबर 1 मध्ये x डॉट ची व्हॅल्यू आणि x डबल डॉट ची व्हॅल्यू.
C into e raised to st ब्रॅकेट मध्ये ms स्क्वेअर प्लस k
इज इक्वल टू 0.
0.
हा, आता या ठिकाणी बघा दोन ब्रॅकेट आले ना, c into e raised to st that is the one parameter and ms square plus k equal to 0 that is the second parameter. मग a into b is equal to 0 जेव्हा असतं तेव्हा a is equal to 0 and b is not equal to 0 असा पॅरामीटर असतो. So the parameter, the since c cannot be 0, we have that ms square plus k is equal to 0. समजलं का? a is not equal to 0, then b is equal to 0. आता c into आपल्याला c ची तर व्हॅल्यू काढायची आहे ना, मग c cannot be 0. c या ठिकाणी 0 नसणार आहे कारण c into e raised to st हा ब्रॅकेटच्या बाहेरचा टर्म आहे की नाही. इज इट ओके? व्हॉट आय
Yes,
एम
madam.
हा, c into e raised to st हा जो पॅरामीटर आहे तो ब्रॅकेटच्या बाहेरचा पॅरामीटर आहे, that is the a, and second one is the ms square plus k is the second parameter, that is the b, and a into b is equal to 0, but a parameter is not equal to 0. का तर आपल्याला c into s, c आणि s च्या व्हॅल्यू आपल्याला काढायचे आहेत. म्हणजे c आणि s चे पॅरामीटर 0 असतील का? नाही. म्हणजे उरलेला पॅरामीटर कुठला आहे? ms square plus k is equal to the 0. So that below this write down ms square plus k equal to 0. समजलं का?
Yes, madam.
हाँ, so write down ms square plus k is equal to 0. Equation number 6. And below this write down the above equation is known as characteristic equation of equilibrium equation. Characteristic equation of the equilibrium equation. And below you write down the solution of this equation is okay. आता इकडे लक्ष द्या, ms square plus k is equal to 0. ms square plus k is equal to 0. आता यामधून मला s ची व्हॅल्यू मिळेल की नाही? s हा पॅरामीटर मला c आणि s काढायचा आहे. आता s ची व्हॅल्यू मला या ठिकाणी मिळेल की नाही? कारण ms square plus k is equal to 0 आहे. म्हणजे ms square is equal to काय येणार? डायरेक्टली मायनस k येणार ना राईट साइडला. इज इट ओके? समजलं का? ms square plus
Yes,
k
madam.
is equal to 0. Then ms square is equal to minus k and s square is equal to काय येणार आहे? minus k by m. Okay, दॅट इज रिटर्न हिअर. बघा म्हणजे एस इज इक्वल टू काय आले तर -k/m. मायनस के बाय एम मध्ये 2 रूट आहेत कारण हा काय एस स्क्वेअर आहे. म्हणजे एस स्क्वेअरचे किती रूट असतात 2 असतात. एक एस स्क्वेअरची रूट काय येणार एक तर प्लस येणार आणि एक तर मायनस येणार. म्हणजे काय प्लस और मायनस रूट ऑफ k/m and that is the minus sign. मायनस साइन हे का आलेलं आहे तर ऑलरेडी दॅट ms स्क्वेअर प्लस k इज इक्वल टू 0. इट इज अ पॉझिटिव्ह टर्म आणि ही पॉझिटिव्ह टर्म जर राईट साइडला गेली तर इट विल बी बिकम ऍज अ मायनस ऑफ k. बट जेव्हा रूट काढतो तेव्हा रूट मध्ये हे कशा असणार आहेत इट विल बी इक्वल टू प्लस और मायनस ब्रॅकेटच्या बाहेर आणि आतमध्ये काय आहे तर मायनस रूट ऑफ k/m. इज इट ओके? समजलं का? समजली काय स्टेप नंबर 7? प्लीज यूज चॅट बॉक्स and please reply me.
ओमेगा एन काय आहे मॅडम?
सांगते. ओके आता इथपर्यंत समजलं असेल. प्लस और मायनस इन ब्रॅकेट मायनस k/n रेस टू 1/2 म्हणजे काय आलं हे आता प्लस और मायनस ब्रॅकेटच्या बाहेर इंटू ब्रॅकेट मायनस रूट ऑफ k/m. तर रूट ऑफ k/m ह्यालाच काय म्हणतात तर नॅचरल फ्रिक्वेन्सी असं म्हणतात. मी तुम्हाला मगाशी सांगितलं होतं नॅचरल फ्रिक्वेन्सी इज नथिंग बट द फ्रिक्वेन्सी विच इज प्रोड्यूस्ड इनटू द सिस्टीम विच इज बिकॉज ऑफ अनडॅम्पिंग सिस्टीम अँड विथ अ फ्री व्हायब्रेशन. फ्री व्हायब्रेशन मुळे आणि डॅम्पर प्रोव्हाइड केलेला नसेल अशा सिस्टीम मध्ये जी काही फ्रिक्वेन्सी असेल त्या सिस्टीमला आपण काय म्हणतो तर त्या सिस्टीम मध्ये जी काही फ्रिक्वेन्सी कन्स्ट्रक्ट होते दॅट फ्रिक्वेन्सी इज नथिंग बट अ नॅचरल फ्रिक्वेन्सी. आणि त्या नॅचरल फ्रिक्वेन्सीचा फॉर्म्युला काय आहे तर ओमेगा एन इज इक्वल टू रूट ऑफ k/m. सो नॅचरल फ्रिक्वेन्सी इज इक्वल टू root of omega n into root of omega n is equal to root of k/m. तर k म्हणजे काय that is the spring stiffness k and m is the mass of the system. म्हणजे काय ओमेगा n is equal to root of k/m. k म्हणजे काय spring stiffness, m म्हणजे काय mass of the system and s is equal to plus or minus into bracket minus of root of k/m raised to 1/2. म्हणजे काय आले आन्सर तुमचे प्लस और मायनस ओमेगा आय इंटू ओमेगा एन. आता आय कुठून आला ते मी तुम्हाला सांगते. ओके तर आय म्हणजे काय असतं आय स्क्वेअर. आय स्क्वेअर ची व्हॅल्यू -1 असते हे माहितीये का तुम्हाला? ऑल ऑफ यू नो व्हॉट इज द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ आय स्क्वेअर? कॉन्जुगेट बीम्स असतील तर त्यावेळेला कॉन्जुगेट रूट्स असतील तर आय ची व्हॅल्यू आय स्क्वेअर इज इक्वल टू -1 असते माहिती आहे का? इफ यू डोंट नो देन यू अंडरस्टूड दिस. तुम्ही आता हे लक्षात ठेवायला पाहिजे की आता हा या ठिकाणी जो पॅरामीटर आला होता दॅट इज द आय स्क्वेअर इंटू k/m. आय स्क्वेअर इंटू k/m. आय स्क्वेअर इज इक्वल टू -1 म्हणजे काय दॅट इज द ओमेगा एन म्हणजे आय ओमेगा एन आले प्लस और मायनस बाहेरचे आहे असेच राहिले. ब्रॅकेट मधला आय स्क्वेअर म्हणजे काय आला तो -1 म्हणजे आय आपण या ठिकाणी -1 साठी प्रोव्हाइड केलं आणि k/m म्हणजे काय दॅट इज द ओमेगा एन रूट ऑफ ओमेगा एन म्हणजे या ठिकाणी काय येणार आहे ओमेगा एन चा स्क्वेअर म्हणजे एस स्क्वेअर असताना या ठिकाणी 2 व्हॅल्यू आल्या तुमच्या दॅट इज द प्लस और मायनस आय इंटू ओमेगा एन. सो दिस कशामुळे आले कळलं का तुम्हाला? हे रूट्स कसे आले समजलं का? मायनस साइन कशामुळे आलं घालवलं आपण या ठिकाणी बाय ऍडिंग द आय स्क्वेअर ची व्हॅल्यू काय असते -1 असते. सो बाय पुटिंग दिस आय स्क्वेअर हिअर -1 आपलं काय झालं या ठिकाणी नील झालेलं आहे. सेकंड वन इज द k/m. रूट ऑफ k/m म्हणजे काय ओमेगा एन. ह्या ठिकाणी काय येणार आहे ओमेगा एन चा स्क्वेअर म्हणजेच काय असणार आहे तो तुमचा त्या ठिकाणी एस स्क्वेअरच्या पॅरामीटर असणार आहेत. म्हणजे एस ह्याची जेव्हा रूट घेतो आपण तेव्हा S1 आणि S2 च्या व्हॅल्यू काय येणार आहेत प्लस आय ओमेगा एन and minus I omega n. So that is the 2 roots of this equation. All of you understood up to this? Please reply me fast. बोला बोला पटपट बोला. If you don't understand, I will tell you once again, no problem. But reply me. शीतल, शिवानी,
समजलं
वैष्णवी.
मॅडम.
हा
समजलं.
ओके व्यवस्थित लिहून घ्या म्हणजे तुम्हाला स्टेप बाय स्टेप समजेल. या ठिकाणी के बाय एम म्हणजे काय? Okay. So S is equal to plus or minus in bracket minus of k by m, where minus is the I square. So I square into omega n चा square. So S चे दोन टर्म कुठले झाले त्या ठिकाणी plus or minus I omega n. Omega n is for the root of k by m आणि I हे कशासाठी I square ही व्हॅल्यू आपण कशासाठी वापरली होती for the minus 1. त्याचे रूट काढले कुठले आले ते plus or minus I into omega n. So I hope all of you have understood up to this. Below this write down where omega n is equal to where omega n is equal to root of k by m. Omega n is equal to root of k by m. Omega n is equal to root of k by m, and which is known as natural frequency of the system. Which is known as natural frequency of the system. And the root in equation 7 are known as eigenvalues of the problem. The root in equation 7 are known as eigenvalues of the problem. And the solution of equilibrium equation is given as x of t is equal to C1 into e raised to I omega n t. C1 into e raised to I omega n t plus C2 into e raised to minus I omega n t. X of t is equal to C1 into e raised to I omega n t plus C2 into e raised to minus I omega n t. Okay. आता तुम्हाला समजलं असेल that roots are plus or minus I omega n. Okay. तर प्लस I ओमेगा n ह्या S च्या व्हॅल्यू आल्या. S ची व्हॅल्यू S1 is equal to I omega n, S2 is equal to minus I omega n. तर ह्या इक्वेशन ह्या व्हॅल्यूज आपण कुठल्या इक्वेशन मध्ये पुट अप केल्या? दिस व्हॅल्यूज वी हॅव पुट इनटू द इक्वेशन नंबर 3. तर ह्या 3 नंबरच्या इक्वेशन मध्ये बघा मग आता C1 into e raised to S1t प्लस C2 into e raised to S2t. म्हणजे काय आता S1 ची व्हॅल्यू आपल्याला माहिती आहे आणि S2 ची व्हॅल्यू माहिती आहे. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी दोन कॉन्स्टंट झाले दॅट इज C1 and C2. तर या इक्वेशन मध्ये त्या दोन जर व्हॅल्यू पुट अप केल्या that is the x of t is equal to C1 into e raised to I omega n t. Okay, I omega n that is the S1 value into t plus C2 into e raised to minus I omega n into t. That t is the same coefficient over there from the equation number 3. Okay, तर आता आपल्याला काय करायचं हे जे इक्वेशन नंबर 8 आहे that equation number 8 we have to solve over here. That is the where C1 and C2 are constant, and by using the equation जे काही तुमचे trigonometrical जे काही formulas आहेत, by using such formulas we have to solve this equation number 8. and जेव्हा आपण equation number 8 solve करू, we'll get the values of that C1 and C2. okay, and हे equation मध्ये values आपल्याला मिळाल्या की automatically will solve this derivation with respect to this displacement, velocity and the acceleration. okay, तर या ठिकाणी x of t is equal to c1 into e raised to I omega nt plus c2 into e raised to minus I omega nt. okay, so write down below this where c1 and c2 are constant, where c1 and c2 are constant, full stop. By using below this, write down the trigonometrical equation. By using e raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t, I sin alpha t, e raised to plus or minus e raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to cos alpha t plus or minus I sin alpha t. okay, so whatever the remaining part from this equation number 1 will solve in the next lecture. So now we'll stop.